TII Item 482, May 30th, 2019. Since the last episode, Apple released another beta for iOS 12.3, and then it went Goldmaster. iOS 12.3.1 quickly followed, as did iOS 12.4 betas 1, 2, and 3. There were corresponding releases of watchOS and tvOS. On this episode, we will let you know what to do with the hounds. Apple released some new hardware. iOS 13 and iPhone 11 rumors abound. We have free promo codes, plus more news and listener feedback, all covered in depth starting after the intro.
Welcome to Today in iPhone.
I like it a lot.
Today in iPhone.
Hey, Google!
Oh, yeah.
My beautiful iPhone, which I never have out of my hand and that I do everything with and has become an extension of who I am.
Today's episode is brought to you by Eero. To get $100 off the Eero base unit and 2 beacons package and 1 year Eero Plus, please visit Eero.com/TII and to checkout, enter promo code TII. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Rob, and you are listening to the Today in iOS podcast. First up, I want to thank Jeff for sending in the music here in the background. Jeff wrote, "Hi, Rob, I made this song called Beyond the Dream with my iPhone 4S using the GarageBand app. For free downloads and more music, follow me at JeffJ6 on Twitter. Regards, Jeff J." Thanks, Jeff, for the music. And folks, I will put the full song at the end of the episode. Also want to thank Chris for sending in the artwork for today's show. Chris wrote the following. "Hi, Rob. Artwork I created was using Photoshop Mix and Photoshop Express. Regards, Chris in London." Well, thanks, Chris, for sending this in. And folks, you can see this artwork in the free TI app via the bonus button for episode 482 or at Instagram.com/todayios and also at Facebook.com/todayios. If you have some artwork and or music you have created on your iOS device that you would like to share with the audience, please email to me at todayios@gmail.com, and please make sure to include which app or apps you use to create said artwork and or music. This week we have promo codes for the app LexiBlocks. Here is the review from the devs.
Hi Rob, my name is Brian Krause and I'm the developer of 2 3D word game apps, LexiBlocks and Lexitetrahedra. In a lot of word games, you see the same word game words over and over again. My games are different. You focus on finding just one word at a time by spinning 3D shapes with letters on them. Blocks with 4 letters for LexiBlocks and tetrahedra with 3 letters for Lexitetrahedra. Since each combination of shapes spells just one word, those words have interesting letter patterns. Lexitetrahedra is free and the one to play first. It has a colorful 1980s vibe to it and a word of the day, a quick, fun puzzle. LexiBlocks is more challenging and more chill and supports iPads. To help you concentrate, there are floating clouds and a jazzy soundtrack. It's $1.99 and there are no ads. Both games have hundreds of words that never repeat. The puzzles are completely different in the 2 games, so you can enjoy them both. They're really hard to put down. When I was testing, my friends didn't give me my phone back until I insisted. Thanks, Rob, for highlighting indie games like mine.
Brian, thanks for the review of your app, LexiBlocks, and for sending in the promo codes to give away. Folks, if you would like a chance for a promo code to this app, please send an email to todayios@gmail.com and put LexiBlocks, LEXIBLOX, in the subject line. First come, first serve on the promo codes. As mentioned, iOS 12.3 went Goldmaster for the masses. What is new with iOS 12.3? First, iOS 12.3 brought a very Jordan-esque 23 security patches. This included patching issues where a person with a physical access to an iOS device may be able to see the email address used for iTunes, and with mail, where processing a maliciously crafted message may lead to a denial of service, and also with mail, where a remote attacker may be able to cause arbitrary code execution. And with Core Audio, processing a maliciously crafted movie file may lead to arbitrary code execution and, well, many other scary sounding security items. So yeah, it's time to update. Per new features, number 1, the new TV app. It was greatly updated, starting with an all-new design that highlights expertly curated collections and personalized recommendations. Apple TV channels offer subscriptions to HBO, Showtime, Starz, and much more. Available to watch directly in the Apple TV app now. No longer does it take you out. And you can do this online or off. Using just your Apple ID and password, up to 6 family members can share subscriptions to Apple TV channels through family sharing. The updated Apple TV app is available in over 100 countries, and users worldwide can get access to new releases, movies to buy or rent. This includes shows and movies from 150 video apps and streaming services and over 100,000 iTunes movie and TV shows, including the largest selection of 4K HDR titles. There is a new dedicated kids section to help you discover editorially handpicked shows and movies safe for kids of all ages. Or, I guess, kids aren't of all ages, the ages of kids. Because if you remember back to the last keynote, curation was a big thing Apple harped on. The Apple TV app can now intelligently suggest playing to the most likely Apple TVs or AirPlay 2 enabled TVs nearby. Note, Apple TV Plus, Apple's new subscription service, will not be available until the fall. So this is all about Apple TV app, no plus. AirPlay 2 was upgraded to support sharing videos, photos, and more from your iOS device right to your AirPlay 2 enabled smart TV. One-tap playback plays your chosen content on the last screen you used based on time and location. And Siri suggestions to watch movies and TV shows include now an option to AirPlay said content. And with Siri's intelligent suggestions, they are all done on device, so your personal information stays private, of course. The Wallet app was updated to include more transaction info. And iOS 12.3 includes the following bug fixes and improvements. The ability to follow a magazine from the Apple News Plus catalog browsing view. Apple Music's For You tab updates multiple times a day, suggesting music based on themes like genre, artists, and moods you love. Plus, if you're hungry or hangry, it will adjust accordingly if you wear an Apple Watch and enable mood scan mode. Okay, well, maybe not, but it sounded good. iOS 12.3 fixed an issue that could prevent Apple TV Remote from pausing video, controlling video, or changing volume on supported receivers. Yep, seen that one before. iOS 12.3 fixes an issue that could cause calls made using Wi-Fi calling to drop. I'm so hoping that is really fixed. And finally, 12.3 fixed an issue where song information from a paired iPhone may not appear in a car's display. Just need to get me one of them modern cars to actually test that one out. However, iOS 12.3 was not without its issues, and Apple realized that rather quickly and released iOS 12.3.1 over Memorial Day weekend. So yes.
Release the hounds!
If you have not updated to iOS 12.3, you can go ahead and jump right into 12.3.1, and if you did update to 12.3, you more than likely already updated to 12.3.1, but just in case you did not, did I mention?
Release the hounds!
Per iOS 12.3.1, as with any double dot update, it is all about bug fixes and or optimization. In this case, 3 bugs were squashed at least. One was fixing an issue that prevented making or getting VoLTE calls, voice over LTE calls. Fixed an issue that prevented a report junk link from appearing in iMessage threads from senders who are not known to you. And it fixed an issue with iMessage that caused messages from unknown senders to appear in your conversation list, even though Filter Unknown Senders is enabled. Before we move on with these updates, there is this email I wanted to read. Quote, "Hi, Rob. Did you know the ECG function has been activated in the UK about 4 weeks ago? I have never heard you mention it. Regards, Matt in Peterborough, UK. P.S. Please say hi to Daniel from Wheeze Beach. He is only about 15 miles away from me." Unquote. Well, thanks, Matt, for sending this in, and sorry for not covering this on the last episode. Yes, the ECG tracker on the Apple Watch Series 4 is now active in the UK. This, again, was my key reason for getting the Series 4 Apple Watch, and if you are in the UK, you too now have access to this potential life-saving tech. Roughly 0.5% of the 400,000 participants in the 8-month study by Stanford Medical had an irregular pulse notification, and 84% of those 0.5% actually had some sort of AFib going on. I guess this is where I give the warning that the Apple Watch does not detect many other heart conditions, but for the 84% of the 0.5%, it could prove to have been a lifesaver. And now back to updates. With the release of iOS 12.3 was also the release of watchOS 5.2.1, and the biggest thing to report is that ECG functionality for additional European countries was added. watchOS 5.2.1 makes ECG app and irregular heart rhythm notifications available in Croatia, Czech Republic, Iceland, Poland, and Slovakia. This update also fixed an issue where the numbers on the Explorer face would not appear for some users, which, kind of defeats the purpose of having a watch face. FYI, the ECG feature should come to Canada very soon, as Health Canada recently approved it. I'm assuming Health Canada is like the Ministry of Health. And with all these updates, tvOS also moved up to 12.3, and it was in line with new features for the Apple TV app. One thing I am not keen on with the new Apple TV app UI is when you search with Siri. Before, it was pretty clear if a movie or TV show was available on multiple services for free or if you had to pay. It seems not as clear now, but that might just be me not catching on right away with the new look. This is one of the bigger updates to tvOS UI that I can remember, as in, I love change, and there is plenty with this version. Yay! I'll leave it at that. I'm getting used to it. So Apple is done here with iOS 12.3, and they are going to just coast into WWDC. Or, no. Apple released iOS 12.4, betas 1, 2, and 3 since iOS 12.3 was released in mid-May. Actually, kudos to Apple for the activity. First, with iOS 12.4 beta 1, as with any single dot update, there is some new feature that is introduced, at least one. And Apple Card support is one of the big ones for 12.4. Actually, for betas 1, 2, and 3, the only item anyone could even mention was support for Apple Card. And that's it. No outward-facing updates with any of the iOS 12.4 betas. This was probably the most boring single-dot iOS update betas of all time. Apple also rolled out watchOS 5.3, Beta 1, and Beta 2. And what is new with these betas? No, really, I'm asking what is new with these betas, because no one seems to know. There is no outward-facing changes. Again, likely just support under the hood for Apple Card, and then bug fixes and optimizations, man. And if 3 betas of iOS 12.4 and 2 of watchOS 5.3 did not bring any outward-facing features, what are the chances that there were some with tvOS 12.4 betas 1 and 2? And if you said, Alex, what is 0%? You would be correct. Today's advertiser is longtime sponsor Eero. For those new to the show, Eero, E-E-R-O, makes a Wi-Fi mesh network for your home. And as I've mentioned on previous episodes multiple times, Eero offers you the fastest Wi-Fi I've ever tested. I was recently talking with a bunch of neighbors at the community pool, and a couple were complaining about their internet speed at their house, which in KC should not be the case. We have the fastest internet in the US, but when your router is old and slow, so is your internet. I told them about my Eero mesh network and that my house, the regular Wi-Fi speed comes in at around 500 meg up and down. Don't let bad Wi-Fi slow down your home's internet. Eero is a Wi-Fi mesh network just like at office buildings, but now for your home, you only need to hardwire connect the base station unit, and the beacons you just plug into a wall outlet, and they even have a nightlight. Never think about Wi-Fi again. To get $100 off the Eero base unit, 2 beacons package, and 1 year of Eero Plus, please visit eero.com/TII and at checkout, enter promo code TII. With Eero Plus, you get total network protection with the ability to block malicious and unwanted content across your entire network. You get advanced security, content blocking, and ad blocking. Eero even automatically pushes out software updates that make sure you have the latest security protection for your home network. And the units also have a new thread radio for low-power devices like my Ring doorbell and other Wi-Fi-enabled IoT devices. Again, to get $100 off the Eero base unit, 2-beacon package, and 1 year of Eero Plus, please visit Eero.com/TII and at checkout, enter promo code TII. As I said before, this is the best Wi-Fi I've ever tested or heard of. Thanks, Eero, for supporting this show. Back to news. I saw an interesting and possibly money-saving article for a few of you out there. This was on CNET, and it was titled, quote, "Got a problem with an iPhone, Mac, or other Apple device that's out of warranty? You might be eligible for a free repair," unquote. And they go over there in the article 15 repair and extension programs covering iOS devices, Macs, and more that could mean you have a free repair coming your way if you have one of the devices they cover. And I'll put a link in the show notes. But the iOS devices covered are the iPhone 10, the iPhone 8, the iPhone 7, the iPhone 6S, and the iPhone 6S Plus. And if you want to find out exactly what each one is covered for, look for the link in the show notes that starts with "Got a problem?" Now, while it's nice, very nice actually, that Apple offers up all those extended repair options, one thing Apple does fight for, which I cannot support, is where they try and pull right to repair laws. And in the latest attempts by Apple and others in the electronics industry to kill a right to repair law, their reasoning was downright desperate, although effective. They tried to claim that the reason to not allow these right to repair laws is people could hurt themselves when trying to repair the units by damaging the lithium-ion battery. Because is someone more likely to get hurt from damaging a lithium-ion battery or by walking into someone or something when walking and texting? And let's not even get into driving and texting. But somehow, someone that is skilled enough to figure out how to even open up an Apple device is going to hurt themselves when they puncture a battery, which I should point out, it's not that easy to do. And sadly, it looks like Apple's FUD worked, and the California politician that introed the bill pulled it, claiming that Apple had, quote, sown enough doubt with vague and unbacked claims of privacy and security concerns, unquote, that it caused the bill's co-sponsor to tuck tail and pull the bill at the last minute. If Apple was really so concerned about people getting hurt when forcing open an iOS device, they might have wanted to make it easier and safer to work on. Just thinking. Boo, Apple. Boo. I'm going to now say some words I did not expect to say again. Here we go. Apple just released an updated iPod. Wow, that was really strange. It's a new iPod Touch, to be precise, and it sports an A10 processor. It starts at just $199, and if you want to find it on Apple.com site, click on Music. You will find the iPod Touch hidden there with New under iPod Touch. Really did not see that coming. It has only been 4 years since the last updated new iPod Touch was introduced. That was so long ago, Games of Thrones was still really good. Oh, I was so going there. Per the new iPod Touch, $199 gets you 32 not enough gigabytes, $299 gets you 128 probably enough gigabytes, and $399 gets you 256 more than enough gigabytes. Color options are pink, silver, space gray, gold, blue, and product red. It is still sporting a 4-inch display, now has an 8-megapixel camera, and again, it now has the A10 processor. One thing that did not change from the last gen is no Touch ID, and more importantly, it still has a headphone jack. Guess Apple found a box of them somewhere laying around the iPhone production facility and said, well, we don't need them over here anymore. Let's send them over to the iPod place. Apple is claiming that 40 hours of music playback and 8 hours of video playback are available, making it the perfect companion for your kids on road trips this summer. Overall, if you are someone looking for an iOS device, don't want an iPhone, but don't want something as big as an iPad, this is the device you have been waiting for. I'm happy to see Apple is keeping this product line alive. I kind of sort of really thought the last iPod Touch was the last iPod Touch. Thanks, Tim, for the May surprise. Now, can you surprise us with a new iPhone SE? Not too much to ask, is it? This new iPod Touch is on sale today. Now you can get it. Go out, buy it. Sticking with official Apple news, we move to a post Apple did on May 21st titled Apple News Plus, offering exclusive covers, innovative storytelling from hundreds of publishers. And, well, it's kind of what it says. From Apple, quote, now with iOS 12.3 and Mac OS 10.14.5 released, May 13th, Apple News Plus subscribers are, this is their grammar, by the way, Apple News Plus subscribers are able to follow publications directly from Apple News Plus catalog. New issues from followed titles New issues from the following titles will be automatically downloaded and available offline, and Apple News Plus subscribers can also download individual issues in each title's channel in Apple News, unquote. Good grammar, Apple. Then they had a bunch of quotes from different big publishers, all gushing about how they love Apple News Plus, and I will definitely not be reading those here. Apple News Plus is available in the US now for $9.99 a month and in Canada for $12.99 a month because you have more money up there. Or it could be because the currency rate's different. One of the two. You can sign up for a free month, but that automatically turns into a paid subscription if you don't cancel in time, which you won't. So you can just figure out the free month is it's a teaser, but you're going to wind up paying if you sign up. Apple can, because nobody ever remembers to cancel. No one. Apple continues to say Apple News Plus will be available in the UK and the land down under later this year, which could be December 30th. By the way, today's episode, I am recording from the hotel room in Nashville. I am at PodX conference in Nashville, and I am using the Samsung Q2U microphone. So if you like the audio quality of today's show, it's the Samsung Q2U mic. It's a really good buy. It's like $59. It's USB and XLR. It comes with a tripod stand, even comes with an XLR cable, and it comes with a USB cable. It comes with a pop filter. So a really good deal. So if you're looking for a mic, the Samsung Q2U is a really nice mic. It even works right into your iPhone with an adapter. You have to get the adapter. But if you have the USB adapter, it'll work right into your iPhone. But I am recording into my Mac. But I like it. It's a nice condenser mic, has an on-off switch, and it doesn't have any hand noise, which is a big issue if you're into mics. And that's a big issue with a similarly priced mic. The ATR 2100 has horrible hand noise. The Samsung Q2U does not. So again, this is the Samsung Q2U I've been using for this episode. If you like the audio quality, again, I'm in a hotel room. I think from listening back so far, editing, it sounds pretty darn good.
Hey Rob, it's Levi from Moreno Valley, California. Calling to pick your guys' brains. I've got an iPhone 8, but I finally upgraded from my iPhone 6, jailbroken on iOS 9, that still had its headphone jack. I'm so bitter about losing the headphone jack. But moving on, my iPhone automatically updated itself to 12.2. Didn't have that set to automatic. Still wondering how that happened. But moving on again, I go to the Bay Area, up to San Francisco area a lot. And ever since updating to 12.2, I've been seeing a new cell icon up where it usually says 4G, LTE, yada yada. I've been noticing a new icon. It says 5GE. 5 capital G and small e. I didn't think previous phones, including 8 and all that, had 5G capabilities. I thought with all that hoopla with Qualcomm, it wasn't available. Is this some hidden feature that they just couldn't activate because of the Qualcomm nonsense? Was it in there and not publicized? Did I completely miss them saying it is compatible, capable, whatever? Just wondering if I could get a little info on your latest thing. You were talking about the next gen getting 5G. So was this already in there? Just wondering. Alright, done with my rant and questions. So if you can let me know, I'd appreciate it. Thank you for all that you do. Much appreciated, and have a good one.
Hi, Levi. Here's what seems to have happened. Apple accidentally released a few dozen phones that had 5G capability out into the wild that were meant for internal testing. And because of where you're located, it sounds like you seem to have gotten one of them. So, I mean, congratulations. Or wait a second. No, wait. Actually, the 5GE icon that you're seeing, that is very, very misleading. It is first limited to AT&T customers, and it is what AT&T is calling their connection. 5GE, which stands for 5G Evolution, is just a name AT&T is using when the phone is in an area that supports 4G LTE, 4x4 MIMO, and 256 QAM. These combined make your phone faster, but not as fast as when real 5G rolls out, which will be from 10 to 100 times faster than 4G LTE or 5GE, whatever they want to call the thing. This is also an icon you only see on devices running iOS 12.2 or later. FYI, AT&T's justification for using the term 5GE is that they claim 5G is an evolution and not a single event, which is really weak on the scale of WTF statements. T-Mobile responded by mocking AT&T, and Sprint just cut to the chase and said it was blatantly misleading. So it's either that or you got one of the 20 devices that was meant for Apple employees. One of the two. To the email bag. Hi, Rob. Cool thing I just came across while setting up a new app logo on my Apple TV. Well, the input Apple TV keyboard buzzed when I started entering my username and password on the newly downloaded Apple TV app. After I opened the keyboard input on my iPhone and the RoboForm app had the login showing in predictive type area, I selected it and it filled in both. I'm not sure the other password keeper apps do this, but I have always liked RoboForm and its cross-platform apps that sync together, iPhone, iPad, Mac, Windows PC, but no Apple TV app yet. Regards, Thomas in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And continuing the email bag. And by the way, thank you, Thomas. Hi, Rob. With regards to Matt's question about lightning detection warnings, it should not surprise anyone that your assumption about a third-party app providing the notifications is correct. There are probably others, but in my situation, the Weather Channel app and an app from a local TV station provide these alerts, as well as other weather-related news. Hope this helps. Regards, Stan Bentley, Winchester, Kentucky.
Hey, Rob, this is Charles from southwestern Oklahoma. In regards to one of the listeners on your latest podcast about the lightning alert that they got, they didn't know where they got it from. You're on the right track. There is a third-party app, I believe it's called NOAA Weather Radio. I've had it for a number of years on my iPhone, and it has an in-app purchase that's about $5 a year. It will let you know when lightning is detected within 6 minutes, or rather 6 miles of your area. I find that a real handy weather alert. I know there are all different kinds of NOAA apps available, but I think this one was just called NOAA Weather Radio. And it also alerts you to all different kinds of alerts, watches, warnings, all that kind of stuff, and they're all selectable. It's a really good app, and it's totally voiceover friendly. That's what I like about it, because I cannot see what the heck I'm doing with the iPhone, so I have to use voiceover. I think that might be where that alert is coming from, although I find it strange that the listener said that it just started. I'm not sure how that can be. But anyway, keep up the good work on the podcasts. I'm a long-time listener, and I will remain one.
Charles and Stan, thanks for your feedback. Back to email bag. Hey, Rob, very happy today as I have learned that Apple Pay has finally arrived at my bank here in Australia. Regards, Steve in Brisbane. Well, hi, Steve. Thanks for heads up on this, which is that NAB, National Australia Bank, One of the big four in Australia is now the third of the big four to begin accepting Apple Pay. That means just Westpac is the lone remaining holdout. Out of the top banks in Australia, that is. Time to move accounts if you are at that one. Well, at least that is what Westpac needs to be worried about. Just saying. Back to the email bag. Hi, Rob. There has been a lot of speculation about iOS and macOS merging. As we know oh so well, there is no way to tell exactly when or if this will ever become a reality. Recently, I purchased a MacBook Air 2019 for my business and used the Duet Display app on both it and my 2018 iPad Pro. When you use this app, it is as close as one can get to having macOS on a touch device. The bar comes out from the top. You can use your mouse or your fingers to activate the functions with macOS. While this is a pricey application, if you have the need for dual monitors and want to experience touch in this environment, this is worth the spend. All things considered, I enjoy having the separate worlds, but this is an experience that I wanted to share since few are covering this option. If you check out their website, Duet Displays, D-U-E-T display.com, so duetdisplay.com, you will see that their tagline is, quote, ex-Apple engineers turn your iPad into an extra display, unquote. It works like for PC also, but I have never tried that version. Hopefully you find it useful. As always, thanks for the show and effort you do. We appreciate all that you do. Regards, Peter in Austin. And thanks, Peter. And sorry we did not get to hang out when I was down in Austin. I do not expect that merger between iOS and macOS this year, but there are surely going to be some features that bring each of the other devices or OSs closer together. Per iOS 13 rumors, here are some of the ones I have seen floating around. Well, here's like 13 of the ones I found floating around about iOS 13. 1, a system-wide dark mode. 2, maybe finally USB support, as in support for USB drives in earnest, at least for the iPad, but would love to see that for the iPhone as well. 3, some are rumoring Apple will not go with Unlucky 13 and call it something else. 4, some improvements to the Mail app, possibly more AI on organizing your email, being able to sort between work and home type emails automatically. 5, a complete revamp of the Reminder app is rumored. 6, I think this next one is a wish for many than anything else, and that is a swipe keyboard. 7, a central Find My app, combining Find My Phone with Find My Friends along with Find My Dignity into a single Find My Everything app. 8, there are rumors about possible desktop-like features with the iPad, maybe even mouse support or at least trackpad support. 9, improvements to Safari, such that Safari for the iPad will ask for desktop versions of sites rather than the mobile versions. That'd be nice. 10, a new 3-finger gesture for undo where you swipe left or right on the keyboard to undo typing, which sounds awfully specific. 11, a smaller, much less intrusive pop-up for volume control when using the buttons, so it doesn't cover everything on the whole screen. 12, support for third-party custom fonts via a new font manager. And 13, multiple users and guest access. Those are 13 rumors for iOS 13, although one of those rumors says it will not be iOS 13. There are others out there talking about some of the features that are found on Android that Apple should adopt, like an always-on screen. This would allow certain items to always be displayed, but with a minimum energy draw, something OLED makes more possible. On device, easy call recording would be really nice, so you can just record your phone calls right on the device. That's probably just the podcaster me wishing for it. That even brings it up on the show. Legally, Apple likely will not want to touch that. And possibly having 2 app supports side by side on the iPhone XS Max. So giving it more iPad-esque features. I would like to see that. More iPad-esque features for the iPhone XS Max. Make it more iPad-ish. switching from iOS 13 rumors to iPhone 11 rumors. And one of the latest rumors around the iPhone 11 series, or we can call it the iPhone 2019 series, whatever you want to call it, is no more 3D touch. That is the Apple taketh away rumor. The giveth rumor is Apple could introduce dual Bluetooth capabilities, allowing you to play audio on more than one Bluetooth device at once. There is also the rumor of contact cross-charging of other devices. So you lay one device on the other and it charges it, like they do with the Apple Pencil. So essentially how this would be, lay one iPhone over another and the one with the lower battery life gets charged up. Additionally, this one rumor back again and again and again is the rumor for 3 cameras on the back of the flagship phones. The third camera for a very wide angle field of view going to 120 degrees in field of view. There is also rumored to be a much brighter LED flash, and additional rumors about greatly improved ISP, image signal processor. And that are some of the key iPhone 11 and 11 Max rumors at this time. Into the email bag we go. Hello, Rob. Thanks so much for doing Today in iOS. I enjoy it very much. Will you do your review of the new AirPods soon? I'm looking forward to it. I would really like to know whether it's any easier to switch devices with them than with the original AirPods. I find it annoying to have to go to Bluetooth settings when I switch from iPhone to iPad or Mac. I would love if the AirPods automatically connected to the device that is awake at the time, or if more than one are awake, it would ask which one to connect to. Best regards, Anna. Hi, Anna. Well, I've kind of given a sort of review on the AirPods, and that is I love them. They're great. I use them all the time. The battery life is much better. Of course, it's much better than when the AirPods were brand new, but it's so much better than when they were old because, well, after 2 years, that little lithium-ion battery, you just couldn't handle it. So, yes, the battery life, much better. Sound seems better. Connectivity and holding a connection seems better. Switching between devices, I'm still going through and tapping on the one I want. And when there's multiple devices open, with the kids having their devices open and mine is open, and sometimes it switches off and it goes to the different device. So the connection part that you were hoping for, it's still not there. Hopefully updates to the software in the future will address that. But everything else about it, I really do love. And by the way, when I say the connection automatic isn't that great, I'm comparing it to itself, not to other Bluetooth devices, which are far worse. So as far as connections go to my Apple devices, the AirPods work really good. Sometimes just it does want to pick up one device versus the other, and then I have to go into settings and grab one and maybe sometimes even turn Bluetooth off on the other. All right, and I hope that helped. But my review, buy them if you like them. Or if you want Bluetooth headphones. They're definitely very, very good. But they are expensive. Mind you that. They are expensive. And, of course, there's the meme for the AirPods. I don't know if you saw it. There was a meme from Everyone Loves Sally. And you know the scene when he comes to the door and she thinks that's hair gel on his ear. Well, they have a picture of that and then the AirPods. So there's always that meme issue. But other than that, it's really a great device. All right, back to the email bag. Hey, Rob, I assume you know more since this episode was released, but there's no way Apple releases a 5G phone this year. Is Apple ever ahead of the game like that? All the rumors are saying 2020 at the earliest. And also the rumors are consistent with 3 cameras on the back for the XS and XS Max in 2019. A good YouTube page for up-to-date rumors and awesome renders is Everything Apple Pro. I would suggest everyone go subscribe to him. Also, for the listener who asked about lightning strike notification, that is most likely the Weather Channel app. I have that app, and I turned on lightning notifications. So that's most likely what it is. Thanks for everything you do, Rob. Regards, Tony in Ellicott City, Maryland. Well, Tony, thanks for the feedback. And yeah, I agree. I don't see 5G happening this year unless you get one of those 20 devices that Apple slipped out into the field. But other than that, I don't see 5G on an iPhone this year. I would agree 2020 makes more sense for a real true 5G iPhone. And per the cameras on the back, yes, I think the iPhone XS and XS Max 2019 versions are going to be the three-eyed raven. And this next story, if you have the kids in the car, you may want to turn down. A man was arrested for watching porn on an iPad at a Target store in Peoria, Illinois. Evidently, he was arrested coming out of the bathroom, which we want to file that under too much info in the article. Security officers, quote, who knew him and knew that he wasn't supposed to be at the store, unquote, called the police and had him arrested. Sounds like this was not a one-time thing. I just need to ask this. Why in the world does Target stores not have a filter that blocks accessing porn sites running on their network? Especially if this guy was a multiple-time offender, which it sounds like he was, given security knew of him already. Either that or they hang out with him and play cards and know what his predilections are. But more than likely, he had done this before at the store. And why did they not just block porn sites? Back to the email bag. Hi, Rob. This is Jason H. emailing you via text because it's easier for me at the moment while I'm at work. Oh, working hard, are we, Jason? I just wanted to throw out something that could be discussed about accessibility bubble that we are able to put on our phones. I'm in no way handicapped and I'm fully capable of using my iPhone. However, it ends up being set up. But I use some of those features a lot. Ever since I had my iPhone 4 and my power button got froze down, I shouted out to your community and you gave me the answer of the little white dot, and I've used it ever since. The reason why is because I want my device to last as long as possible, so anytime I can use a software shortcut instead of a physical button, I do so. iOS 12 has been awesome in allowing you to customize the options selected, and I'm very happy for restart option, but I'm amazed that there isn't a power off option. I'd love to know if I'm simply missing this, and if I'm not, then why isn't there? You had an Apple rep call in to the show in the past. If I remember correctly, they recommended not force restarting your phone unless necessary, and also not closing out apps, the latter of which I decided to ignore. I think you need to do that every once in a while. Any help or input would be appreciated. Best to you, and hopefully you started your new diet. Regards, Jason H. Oh, I started it, stopped it, started it, stopped it, started and stopped it. So it's kind of a fluctuating, alternating current thing with me lately. But I'm going to try to start it again now when I get back from this trip. So if anyone out there knows of a way via software to shut down the iPhone power-wise, or iOS device power-wise, using some of the accessibility features, let us know. Give us a call, 206-666-6364. That's 206-MOONDOG, or shoot an email to todayinios@gmail.com. Again, 206-666-6364, or shoot an email to todayinios@gmail.com. What is your favorite song?
I always enjoy more cowbell.
What is your favorite song?
I'm happy listening to your music.
What is your favorite song?
I like whatever you like.
What is your favorite song?
With all of Apple Music to listen to, everything's my favorite.
What is your favorite song?
I'm kind of digging what's on Beats 1 right now. Of course, in my dimension, we also get Beats 42.
What is your favorite song?
I mostly listen to the music of the spheres.
What is your favorite song?
I like anything with a bagpipe.
What is your favorite song?
My taste in music is rather unconventional. I doubt you'd like it.
Just a heads up, WWDC will be this Monday, June 3rd. Be very interesting to see what Apple announces. I'm going to try to get a bingo card out before then. Go to our MeWe community to get the bingo card. That's go to todayinios.com/community. And I should have a post with the bingo card up before Monday's keynote from Tim and team. And be very interesting to see what we get with iOS 13. I do want to remind everyone of this. Beta equals bugs. Let me repeat that. Beta equals bugs. No dot updates are the worst. So iOS 13, beta 1, there's no dots. That first one that comes out, probably on Monday, don't update to it on any device that you need for anything in your life. Only put it on extra devices that you use purely for entertainment and you don't need it for work and you don't need it for school. Again, beta equals bugs. Do not put iOS 13 on your device if you need that device for anything. That said, all of you that do put it on your devices, please give us a call, 206-666-6364. That's 206-MOONDOG, or shoot us email, todayinios@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts of iOS 13, or whatever they call it if that one rumor that said it's not going to be 13 winds up not being 13. Today's show was again brought to you by Eero, which is by far the fastest and best Wi-Fi I've ever tested. To get $100 off the Eero base unit and 2 beacons package and 1 year of Eero Plus, please visit eero.com/TII and at checkout, enter promo code TII. Before we go today, I want to remind you to send in your feedback to the show, 206-666-6364. That's 206-MOONDOG, or record your feedback and email to the show at todayinios@gmail.com. Feedback could be a question or comment per something someone said on this episode, or it can be a question or rant you have about something else, an app, a product review, good or bad. As long as it's iOS related, it is welcomed. I'm always looking for new artwork to feature on the show that is created on an iOS device. Just put some TII branding on it and send it in. And of course, we are always looking for more music created on an iOS device to play on the show. This is your show, and your feedback and contributions are greatly desired. Also, don't forget to check out our moderated MeWe community by going to todayinios.com/community. And a quick reminder, if you are an app dev or an iBook author, email me if you want your app or iBook featured in the promo giveaway segment for free. We just need the 5 promo codes or more to give away. Simply email me at todayinios@gmail.com, and please include a 60-second or less audio review of your app or iBook indicating you are the dev or the author. Also, when you send in the promo codes, please make sure to let me know when they expire. Finally, check out the TII app, which is free to you. Search for TII in the iTunes App Store. It is the best way to consume the show and to get push notifications each time a new episode of TII is released. It's fully voiceover friendly, of course. Please go right now and download the TII app or get the update. Until the next time, I'm your host, Rob, reminding you to phone different. This show is hosted on Libsyn.com and part of the Libsyn Media Network. If you are looking for podcast hosting, go to Libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN.com for hosting for your podcast and creation of your own smartphone app. The Today in iOS podcast can be found everywhere you listen to podcasts. That includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Overcast, Stitcher, and everywhere else you listen to audio.